Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Ash, and as an official RPG developer Bakin DLC Ambassador, I'm here today to show you, ahead of time, the Sci-Fi City Pack for RPG developer Bakin. This is being published by SmileBoom and was originally created by Meira, who made this for Smile Game Builder. So if the assets seem quite familiar, that would be why. The actual Smile Game Builder version of this pack, as of the time of this video, is still available on itch.io if you want these assets for Smile Game Builder. The RPG developer Bakin asset pack is virtually identical, except all of our objects now get material upgrades, meaning that the light plays off of them. They've got normal maps, a lot of them have masks, and they look beautiful in the RPG developer Bakin environment. So we're going to run around this test map for a little bit and show you all of the components that come with this. Everything that you see here is pretty much exclusively from this new asset pack. The MSRP is going to be $39.99 USD, and I would say, since I bought the SGB pack of assets for I think 30 or 35 way back, that this is definitely worth it to me, just because all this time has passed. We haven't really seen a huge price bump between then for SGB and now for Bakin. Some reasons why you would want this: you can create your own science fiction RPG. You can use these beautiful and detailed ship models to make your own completely separate genre of game. Just like Flipper's Hyperlight, you can use these to make your Shadowrun-like, and there are a lot of really cool animations. Look at this robot. That drone went into that building with nothing and came out with a box. He's making a delivery. Look at that. Let's see where he goes. I'm gonna follow him for a little bit while we look at the different lights and sights, sounds. Check out the pallets, the bags of cement, the traffic cones. There's a lot here that will supplement your modern RPG without being futuristic, and I think it's really important to have those elements here because they help you sell the world. Not everything absolutely has to be a science fiction upgrade. Some of it can just be familiar modern elements as you immerse your player in a brand new world. And for those of you who are a little bit more savvy and can take images from the textures in these 3D objects and edit the images in image editing programs, which is not difficult to do, you'll be perfectly comfortable taking stuff like the displays for this soda machine and changing them out to make your own customized assets, your own customized vending machine. It doesn't have to sell soda, it could sell cybernetic upgrades. So again, types of games that you can make with stuff like this: very futuristic, science fiction, think Star Trek, Star Wars. And we're going to be looking at this same map under some different lighting conditions so we can kind of change the feel. Think Judge Dredd, think Shadowrun, think Altered Carbon, think Cyberpunk. All right, this DLC, as of the time of this video, actually comes with 2 maps. The second map just kind of has like this nice little showcase of all of this stuff here. Kind of get all the really fancy stuff right away with all of these ships. And it really does come with a ton. It doesn't come with just the stuff that you see here on this map. It comes with a lot more. So we're looking at the sample project right now that comes with this DLC. That's both of the maps and all of the stuff already pre-imported. You can of course take the stuff and import it into your project, but we have right here 20 of these terrains. And before I was a bit confused on the floor 8 versus the floor 8 water. The floor 8 water is actually a little bit lowered and makes a splashy sound when you run around on it. So it's kind of pre-prepared to allow you to have some wet ground to run around on. And you can make that make sense by going into the folders here and putting your objects down. For example, the Sci-Fi City Props folder has Water 01. You can stamp that down and now you have this lovely transparent water tile, which is really a 3D object that will go right over your tile. And it's got a lovely animation. We can just take and stamp this down. And then we've got a nice 4x4 pool of water that our player can stomp around in. All right, I can't wait to get into the contents of this pack. So before we do anything, we're going to return to the top menu. And then I'll just show you, once you get this DLC, you'll be able to access the Game Gallery sample pack. Go to your Game Gallery menu, and then Sci-Fi City Pack is right here. That's if you want to start out using the pack right away in a new project. So before we do anything else, we're actually going to return to the top menu where you can see how to get started with this exact pack. Okay, so once you have your DLC, there's 2 ways that you can access it. You can either create a new project or go to your existing project in which you would like to import these DLC assets, or you can look at the Game Gallery sample map set that we were just looking at. You can do that by going to your game gallery, clicking on your sci-fi city pack, and then just hitting edit in read-only mode. And this is an early access look, so this is subject to change over time. You'll get the standard warning since it's sample used in the game gallery. They don't want you editing the sample directly. You are advised to save this project as something else and edit that project. But the only thing we're doing is looking at maps. We're just looking at the structure. And you'll notice that even though this map is very detailed and quite large, we do have a little bit of lag in the editor itself, only when I am rotating the map. Zooming in and out is fine. Placing more objects is fine. And I've taken and I've placed tons of these high poly, high texture resolution ships, and I have put down like 200 of them on a map, and they all have these animations where they're just kind of floating. That gave me no performance issues whatsoever once I was actually testing the game by hitting test play. And I didn't even have to skip the title screen or use middle mouse version of test play. Some of you know the test play happens in the editor, and you can actually change it to where you test play outside of the editor. And that can make a huge difference when you're trying to predict what's going to lag, what kind of performance issues you're going to have. None of this gave me any performance issues whatsoever. The minimum system requirements to run Bakin are going to be in the description below, and they're going to be the same requirements you need to run this specific asset pack. I will tell you that I have a 10th generation i7, which by now is superseded. That's my CPU. My GPU never really made a huge difference when it came to Bakin. But all that just to say that this is a lot of stuff, and it's not going to bog down your game. It has slowed my editor down only marginally. Just one more thing, I'm going to test play this one more time with a new atmosphere applied to the map. This is Texas in the year 3039. Civilized folks done yeed their last haul, owing to all the pollutants and chemicals in the waters. You know the kind. A race of cybernetic frog mutants rose up with a little too much hitch in their giddy-up. But now it's time for me to step forward. I'm the Toad Ranger. A lot of effort maybe just to show you that you don't have to use the assets in the way that they were presented. You can apply them to a variety of situations. The way that this camera moves is really lovely. Look at that ship, it's so cool. And this is a huge map, by the way. This is a full 256 by 256 map. The assets are kind of centered right there, but the map itself is ginormous. So again, just kind of showing you what you can pull off here without too much of a lag effect. All right, so let's import these assets into a brand new project. Let's go to the top menu. Create new. You can of course go to your history or your local PC or your game gallery if you'd like to access one of the projects you've already created, but I'm just going to create a brand new project. So we're going to run right through all of these. Just hit start editing your game. We'll do a flat terrain map generation. And then the only change I'm going to make here is I'm going to change the 25 by 25 to a 50 by 50 because come on, 25 by 25 is just always too small. Okay, so by default, we don't have anything but the base system assets. We're going to go into resources, and then we've got two different kinds of resources we can import from the Sci-Fi City Pack. We can go into terrains and click add, and then we can go into the ready to use tab. You'll find your Sci-Fi City Pack here after purchase, of course, and you've got all your terrains right here conveniently located in the Sci-Fi City folder. So I'm just going to click the folder and click add and exit, and now we'll get all 20 of those terrain blocks added to our editor. Okay, I'm free to take these and resort them, put them in different folders if I want, create new folders. I'll create a folder maybe that says yellow striped blocks, and I'll throw all of these in there. That can be a subfolder of Sci-Fi City. Doesn't matter. What you do at this point is up to you and your level of convenience and your workflow. But you can always take all of these tiles and you can edit their basic properties right here. What kind of state changes will they cause? I'd like to think whenever I step on the road that state 8 applies to me in real life, which is the, oh God, I'm going to be out in public around people. That's going to cause a debuff to my sanity. You can also change what sound effects they have when you step on them. So this one has foot grass soft 1. You don't have to keep that one on there. But check it out. See, normal maps and mask maps. This is what sets this pack apart from the Smile Game Builder version of the pack. But if you're only working in Smile Game Builder, this pack is only $10 on itch.io, at least as of the time of this video. Huge value, definitely worth it. You don't get all the materials and you don't get the license to port your project into Bakin with this set of materials. That could, of course, always be subject to change. Always double check your terms of service, use, and your end user license agreement. That's the one, Ash. Next, we're going to grab the 3D objects. There it's going to be 3D stamps. We're going to click add again, and then we're going back into the Sci-Fi City pack, and then back into... Actually, we want all this stuff, so there's a number of ways you can do it. You can just click on the single folder that you want to add and exit. You can just click on the single assets that you want to add and exit. You can hold down Control and you can click which folders you would like if you don't want them all. Or what I like to do is just click on the very top Sci-Fi City Asset Pack, which you'll notice this does come with an Assets Bakin. You don't have to click this one and import it. This one's already in your engine. So I'm clicking on prefabs. I'm going to hold down Shift and I'm going to click the bottom folder, and that'll highlight everything in between the two selections. Hit add and exit and wait for your stuff. Yeah, if you've already imported your assets, you'll get a message kind of like this one. And if you haven't imported your assets, you get something like that because something in there somewhere has a naming conflict, but don't worry about it. Just go ahead and hit overwrite. I'm really excited to show you the buildings that come with this more than anything, so let's get to it. That's all we need to do for imports. Let's make this a little bit more realistic by grabbing one of the terrain tiles that comes with Sci-Fi City, and we'll just hit the bucket tool and spill that concrete paint all over this map. Yes, go into objects, and then we're going to scroll down again. If I don't like the way this is sorted, I can always go into resources and resort them into my own folders of my choosing. I can put them all in the same folder and just call it Sci-Fi if I want. And we'll go into Sci-Fi City buildings. You can see the outline of how big this building is going to be, what it's going to look like. What is this building? That's entirely up to you. This can be the front of an overall prefab of different building pieces that you put together, which Jackson Meira is famous and famously good for at taking stuff like that, modular systems, and putting them together for your use. Modular systems are enormously useful so that you can take an asset pack like this that even if everybody else is using the same assets, making it yours and making it really custom to your liking by arranging the modular terrain pieces the way that you need. So we've got a second building here. What is this? This could be a power generation plant. You've got a huge fan. It could either be sucking in the air or it could be blowing out the air. Actually, the direction of the blades and the direction it's turning already imply what it's doing, but never mind that. We can go into this third building if we want to get healed, perhaps get a new limb upgrade. That counts as medical service, right? Getting an iron arm or getting AI added to our brains so that we can target enemies better. We've got another plant here, could have something to do with energy. This green stuff could be like the Monster energy drink of the future, which is, to be completely honest, probably just gonna be Monster. And then another building. This time it looks like it's huge. That's because when you scroll out, it's like whoa, what is it? The Space Needle, except ×3. Love this. This could be an awesome place to take your cybernetically enhanced date. We've got the 2 restaurant wings and the Love Hotel wing. Okay, that's not at all officially what any of that is, but you know, I'm just injecting some role play here. All right, and then you've got this lovely patrol bot. Perhaps it is a patrol bot, perhaps it is law enforcement, perhaps it's just a power washer. Maybe it goes around looking for walls and tries to solicit its services in a pre-recorded voice line. Got a lot of different drones. That's our package carrying drone. And then you've got a second one here. So what we were seeing earlier was the drone going into a building, and then it was having its animation changed out for this one, which went to where it would be dropping off the box, and you can have several such scenes in your game. We get this really handsome robot. There are a lot of other buildings though, by the way, a ton. You've got these awesome shelters with the tarps on the side. You could put all sorts of stuff under there. This could basically be the foundation for your slums scene. And no kidding, we'll get 2 of these and we'll just plop them right across from each other. And you can have market vendors under both of them, kind of barking at you as you go by, trying to sell you stuff. More awesome looking towers, just knocking it out of the park with the sculpting. I was really happy reviewing this pack for Smile Game Builder, and it looks actually like it's gotten bigger. Like there's just more here. I don't think that's hyperbole. I'm pretty sure that there's been a significant amount added to this pack. So I'm beginning to think this is not a one-to-one of Jackson's SGB version of this. Love this building. Very political looking, very powerful looking, very mega corporation that you end up having to infiltrate and stop the evil going on inside. And then, yeah, like I said, if you know how to take these buildings and kind of attach them together, you can come up with some really interesting combinations. You can pretty much create Wall Street. And I mean in the editor. I don't mean that you have to do that in a 3D program or anything. You can attach them together just like this. That's already a cool scene, well, in my opinion. The pack also comes with a ton of fences, which again, not necessarily futuristic, but I mean, a fence is a fence. And don't forget that you can take these and scale them up as large as you want them to be. And you can also scale them down as small as you'd like them to be. So if I take, for example, this guy and I go ahead and change his scale, I can make him really skinny or really long or just really small. And now we've got like a model that you can sit right on one of your actual sized tables, and your kids can be putting together models in your game. All right, we have a lot more to go through, so let's keep going. We've got restricted area sign. We've got Sci-Fi City food, which is really a lot of these like sodas and energy drinks and stuff. You could take these and place them on tables, make decoration for interiors. The aforementioned vending machine. You've got a lot of stuff that generates energy. It's just called Energy, Sci-Fi City Energy. That's the folder name. You've got various panels and street lights and power wires that run along the city, providing everybody with electricity. You've got different directions of this stuff, so you can very completely build out your scenes. The pole, that's awesome. That looks really, really cool. And yeah, this stuff's on the ground because I don't have the options in here turned on where we can object stack. I'm just laying the objects around haphazardly. We've got some prefabs in here as well, which will be really helpful. It's just collections of assets that have been put together. There's not like a whole lot of them. We've got hologram pads, tons of props, which work really well, even if you're not doing science fiction. We've got cardboard that you can throw on the floor. We've got boxes. You can use these in an office setting. We've got powered bay doors. We've got the coconut tree. Of all things, we got a coconut tree to use with our futuristic pack. We've got these toxic barrels. We've got benches that your city folk can sit on. We've got different colors of hydrants. We've got pallets. We've got these lovely things that prevent drivers from driving onto sidewalks and down alleys meant for pedestrian foot traffic only. We've got different colors of speed bumps, which I think are really cool. Different trash cans, different dumpsters. Lots of stuff for your more modern and not necessarily futuristic city. And I'm putting everything down on this grid snap really annoyingly. You don't have to do that. You can, of course, turn off grid snap. You can rotate this stuff to your liking. You can size it to your liking. You can position it to your liking. That is, in a nutshell, a rather lengthy nutshell, the Sci-Fi City pack from SmileBoom for RPG Developer Bakin. I hope you enjoyed this look. If you decide to get this, not get this, why not? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know what other kinds of DLC you'd like for me to cover. And as always, a huge thank you to SmileBoom for allowing me the privilege of being an ambassador, and be sure to check out the other ambassadors. I've got the hashtags that you can look for in the description below. Look for those hashtags. You can see other people opening up these DLCs and checking out their contents as well. All different flavors, different styles. You'll learn stuff the more videos you watch, so I highly recommend doing that. A quick shout out, I know Melon Toucan and Hagons are both reviewing this pack off the top of my head. Companion Wolf, go check them out for sure, or keep an eye on them if they don't have anything as of this exact moment. Huge appreciation shout out to Jackson Meira, because he's just awesome. If you have other Jackson Meira packs, you know what I'm talking about. All his stuff goes together because it's the same designer, so it just all works. I'm not saying that the tree pack necessarily goes with the futuristic pack in the same game, but there are elements of either or that can work perfectly well together because the aesthetic is the same. So it just depends on your game and your needs. But anyway, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Comment, please, like, all that stuff. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.